It's a busy, busy week here in Northern California.
Wet and busy.
Wet, very. It's so crazy how this hit us so quick. And I was thinking the other day, the leaves have certainly turned in my neighborhood, and it looks awesome.
I love it. This time of year is fantastic.
But we almost didn't get the fall season. Usually, it doesn't start raining heavy like this till December. But it's great.
And honestly, I think that we got an expedited fall season look, winter fall season, because all of those leaves that were turning colors were still on the trees, but with all of this rain, it's kind of knocked a lot of them off, and so now there's leaves everywhere, and the trees are starting to get a little bit more bare. But I just love the color change.
Yes, we have color change. It's wet, but the big news of the week was the heavy rain, the flooding, and the snow brought to you by the bomb cyclone that hit Northern California and the rest of the Pacific Northwest last week. It was big. I mean, we had snow all over, the Mount Shasta area. We had snow from Lassen all the way down to Mammoth and the Sierra. Then we had heavy flooding in Humboldt County. We had heavy flooding in Sonoma County. Heavy flooding around Chico. Unfortunately, these sort of storms come with, dangers. 2 people passed in Sonoma, getting caught in the floods. There were all sorts of crashes and issues on high elevation roads throughout the Sierra. And
I heard there was a woman in Washington who was taking a shower and a tree fell over, hit her house and killed her.
I read that too.
The scariest thing possible while you're in the most vulnerable environment you possibly could be.
Yeah, it was historic. I mean, the amount of rain that we were getting for those dates were record breaking. I saw, I forget which day it was. The Sacramento had its rainiest day of. It had a record breaking rain day. So.
Yeah, so we had the bomb cyclone, but we also had the atmospheric river, excuse me, at the same time. And so 1 + 2 equaled massive, massive storm. And it all started last Wednesday, right?
Yep.
And our dad was here visiting in town, the illustrious Chip O'Brien. And him and I took a trip up to Redding because he actually spoke at the Shasta Trinity Fly Fishers Club, which shout out to them. They have a phenomenal new clubhouse that I was very impressed with. But we drove up right at the beginning of the storm, and it was absolute bomb cyclone. Tons of rain, even more wind. So much so that I text you this on our drive home that there were big rigs that were just on the side of the freeway. All of the truck stops and all of the rest stops were completely full. And I saw a couple of truckers interviewed, those that were able to get to a truck stop and get a spot were lucky, because the ones that had to sit on the side of the freeway, they only could eat what they have there. A lot of them don't just stock up a ton of food to be ready because they couldn't climb over the summit. So, I mean, it affected a tremendous amount of people.
I-5 was closed from Fawndale right before Shasta Lake all the way to Weed, California. So however many miles that is, it's actually not a ton of miles, but it is a crucial roadway to get from Redding past Mount Shasta, and it was closed for a while.
And even on the part of the highway that we were on I-5, there were a ton of cars that had slid out, because of so much rain. They hydroplaned, they flipped their car. I didn't see any fatalities or any injuries, but several cars on the side of the road because they had either spun out or what have you.
It was certainly crazy. It was crazy to watch, but it did come with some good news. I mean, precipitation's always great, right? Especially this early in the season.
No more fires. Fires are behind us this year.
Fire season is officially over. Saying that this early is pretty rare. Also, the lakes rose at an incredible rate. I think Lake Oroville was up 9 feet. Lake Sonoma was up 12 feet from the storm.
That's crazy.
Shasta Lake was, I believe, 4 or 6 feet. So, a ton of new water moving into our systems. Also, we got a ton of snow, which is great. All the ski resorts are just jumping for joy right now.
And all the snowboarders and skiers and all of the people that come to Northern California for snow in the winter, everybody's happy.
Yeah, same. So Palisades Tahoe opened early. North Star opened early. I believe Heavenly opened early. A lot. Mount Shasta Ski Park just announced they're opening December 11th, which for them is pretty darn early in the season. They a couple seasons ago they didn't open till January. So
remember when we used to go to North Star every Thanksgiving?
Every Thanksgiving we went for however many years, many years.
It was so cool.
But they always had a lot of snow.
They did.
On
I was just thinking about that.
And that hasn't been so the last few years.
Right.
And so, I forget when they only opened like 3 days early or something. But so they were going to be open either way on Thanksgiving.
We loved it. It was like a hotel room almost vibe feeling, and they had like a little arcade where we would hang out. But then every year we would make sure to have turkey chili on Thanksgiving because we didn't have a whole turkey because we're in like a hotel room. But great memories.
I think we did that for at least like 6 to 8 years
something like
straight.
That, probably. Yeah.
But that was before Vail bought North Star. North Star's a much different place. I mean, we used to get a ski in, ski out apartment or hotel room or whatever, and I don't think that's even affordable now. I don't even think it's even close to being affordable now. So, great news all around. Really cool to see.
Not as many fatalities as I thought. Like, obviously, there were a few, and that's sad, but I think everyone was pretty well prepared for this to an extent. I think everyone kind of everyone heeded to the announcements. They decided to stay home and not drive as much as they could, and so that's great news too.
Yeah, in the upcoming issue of Active NorCal Magazine, issue 15, we did a big article on Caltrans and how they deal with these big winter storms. And I interviewed a couple people from Caltrans, and one was talking about just the importance of relaying the information to the public. Do not go out on the roadways. And I think we play a part in that, and for that, I'm thankful for that we're able to cover this stuff and try to keep people safe. But of course, people are going to move around; they're going to travel whenever they want. People can do whatever they want. But it is important to know that when these things happen, you're putting yourself and other people in danger by going out into the mountains, by going out into flooded areas. I mean, the two people that passed away were in Sonoma and during a flood. So
massive floods in Sonoma.
Yeah.
That's where all the videos I'm seeing of the overflow river. It's crazy there.
Yeah. So, it's good. It's net positive, but of course, with these big storms, there's always, some inconvenience, and not only inconvenience. I mean, there's threat to, health and life. So,